You know her, you love her, you might even be a little bit obsessed with her. But do you really know Cleopatra? Here's one story about her that you probably don't know. It's me. Welcome to my channel. And today we are breaking down the story of Cleopatra, the most famous woman in history. We've said it before and we'll say it again. Cleopatra was not actually Egyptian. She was Greek, as in from Greece. Not as in the word Greek means cool. Though we have to admit, Cleopatra was pretty cool, probably cooler than you, which is why you clicked on this video. Cleopatra's story started out pretty normally. She was born in 69 BC to a royal Greek family that had been living in Egypt for a few generations. Her father was a pharaoh, which in ancient Egypt basically meant you were like the CEO of the country. When she was just 14 years old, her father died and she became the ruler of Egypt alongside her younger sister and Ugh. I hate to break it to you, but her hot, ridiculously handsome husband, who was also her brother. Now, we know what you're thinking. Wait, she was married to her brother. How could she be so obsessed with this guy? Well, back in those days, it was super common for rulers to marry their siblings. In fact, most of the royal families in Europe did it too. You know, because they wanted to keep all the power and money in the family. But anyway, back to Cleopatra and her brother husband. They ruled Egypt together for 6 years, until one day, she got fed up with sharing the throne and decided she wanted all the power for herself. So she did what any normal, rational person would do in that situation. She hired an assassin to kill him. Yep, you heard that right. This queen had no chill. After she had her brother/husband taken care of, Cleopatra took over the entire country of Egypt and became one of the richest women in the world. At this point, you would think she would be happy, right? But nope. Now that she was the most powerful woman in Egypt, she was super lonely. You see, after she had her brother husband killed, all of her enemies within the royal family fled to Rome and begged the Roman emperor to come help them take over Egypt. So now Cleopatra was being attacked by armies from all over, and her only hope was a dashing young general named Mark Antony, who had recently come to power. Cleopatra and Mark Antony fell in love pretty much instantly, which, you know, is kind of creepy considering that Mark Antony was betrothed to marry Cleopatra's sister. But hey, you do you, I guess. Anyway, they made plans to meet up in secret. But before Cleopatra could make it to their rendezvous, Mark Antony was